The Chicago Bears just face planted in Baltimore. The Bears got embarrassed by a 1-5 Ravens squad led by Tyler Huntley, not Lamar Jackson. This wasn't just a loss, it was a gut check. Are the Bears still pretenders dressed as contenders? Is it time to just have a conversation about Caleb Williams? Did Ben Johnson get out coached? We're breaking it all down because after this one, Chicago's got a lot of soul searching to do. I'm Rob Schwartz with Bear Goggles On. With me tonight are my co-hosts, Justin Onayemi and Bob Weiss. This is the Hellas Huddle, where we don't sugarcoat it, we tell it how it is.
Welcome to the Hellas Huddle. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. We're happy you're being here. Please consider hitting that subscribe button. Join our community of Bears fans. We're here for each other, wins or losses, and here we are in a loss. If you're returning, make sure you hit that like button. Comment below your thoughts about this game. But Justin, why don't we hear from you first?
Well, I'll say this. The Bears have clearly established an offensive identity. Unfortunately, it's an offensive identity. Even Bob, you've said it so many times, and it's in real time, but so many games, including games they've won, they've been dominating on the eye test. And on the scoreboard, not at all. So you look at their first two drives, they start with the ball, and they go on a long drive. I think they possess the ball for about 8 minutes, moving the ball at will until the red zone when they couldn't get out of their own way, a false start that they actually overcome, but you only end up with 3 points. What does the defense do? They come out with a 3 and out. Montez Sweat back on the stat sheet like he's been over the past few weeks. You get the ball back. You do the same thing. You march. 3 more points. So it's 6-0. You have like 190 yards to their 6. And as soon as they score a touchdown, they have the lead. And honestly, they never really looked back after that. You had them on the ropes. I mean, if you go up 14-0, you think this game goes the way it went? 10-0, you think the game goes the way it went? I mean, I'd love to wonder, but that's not that far-fetched. If you are a team that wins consistently, you put 7 on the board when you're marching down the field. You don't put 3. So I got a lot more to say, but that's just the initial feelings I have. Rob, what do you think?
Yeah, honestly, I'm at a loss of words. This is when things were supposed to start clicking, right? We're going, a couple weeks past the bye. You're supposed to start seeing this team come together. In this game, you just laid it out, Justin. Caleb Williams was moving the ball down the field, but to your point, what were they doing when it mattered most, right? Inside the red zone, inside the 5-yard line. They just completely flatlined. 3 trips inside the 5-yard line and only 10 points to show for it. That's just not good enough. It's not winning formula. You kind of stole my thunder because I also wrote that's offensive malpractice. It's, to your point, it's an offensive identity. The defense couldn't stop a backup quarterback. Tyler Huntley was just efficient, right? 17 of 19 or something like that at one point. It's just disgusting seeing this guy just find the little bit of holes. And I know the Bears were struggling because of injuries. I will just say real quick, is not a part of my Mulling report, but I want to make sure I get this in. Nick McLeod is not good at football. I don't want to see number 24 out there again. Find a guy off the street. I don't even care who it is. I'll go play. Yeah. Okay. Back to my Mulling report. The offense looked allergic to the end zone. Not to mention the penalties, just really, really bad. I honestly don't know where they go from here. I will say, all I can say is patience and time. That's what is needed by this fan base. It's very surprising that I'm saying this after my emotional outbursts and text messages yesterday. I've had a day to calm down a little bit, but we'll get it. We'll get some anger in here. But they were never supposed to be a dominant team. Ben Johnson said it best. Year 2 is supposed to be when things really start to look better. They were winning in despite of a lot of mistakes. And at this point, to me, it's just what it is. We're just gonna have to kind of ride this wave and hope for more fun than awful.
Yeah, I mean, obviously offensively, we wanted to see more. But last week, even though there was that win, I talked about in my Mulling report how consistent the Bears have been over the past 3 games at this point. And now this is 4 games in a row at this point. The Bears have basically played the exact same game 4 times in a row, dominating the early portion of the first half, if not the entire first half, and not having enough points on the scoreboard to show for it. So my point of saying this, though, is before we were getting those defensive turnovers, and that's huge because you kind of not only stop the other team from scoring, but give your struggling offense, your inefficient offense, a better chance of scoring. So when those turnovers aren't there, offensively, we played basically the exact same game we have, but it just shows more. We're more frustrated about it more because it resulted in a loss. So I guess my message, my takeaway from this is that this game shouldn't make us feel any worse about the state of the current Bears because it's been this state for 4 weeks in a row. It's just finally been exposed for exactly what it is, which is more or less not good enough to beat a team who plays well, good enough to beat a team who doesn't play well. Raiders threw the game away. They made a lot of mistakes. Bears capitalized them. Commanders made a lot of mistakes. The Bears capitalized on them, won the game. Saints are just not very good. The Bears won the game. And then you played Baltimore, even though the record is 1-5. We all know that team has a lot more talent. Really, this team was really only missing Lamar Jackson. Tyler Huntley has gotten the Bears before. They got him again. And obviously on defense, they were missing that defensive tackle, Matabuke, I believe. But for the most part, the rest of their defense was completely intact. This was supposed to be a Super Bowl contender. And they played well. They didn't beat themselves. They played physical. They beat up the Bears on the line of scrimmage on both sides. So the Bears play this consistently not good enough offensive football, not good enough to win, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that it still can't improve as we move forward. But it's just all this ups and downs of a 4-game winning streak and then 1 loss. Like, we shouldn't really feel any different about this team. You win some games, you lose some games in the NFL, and this was just the loss. And that's just kind of where we're at right now.
So, Rob, when you were saying your part, it almost sounded like you were giving one of Ben Johnson's lines of, we want to be playing our best football, but he says by December. We're still in October. And to Bob's point, it's just not there. But there's still a month before December. And I think both your games against Green Bay are after that. So hopefully you're clicking by then.
To that point, I still just want to keep bringing this up as much as possible, try to stay modest about it. But I am now 7-for-7 in my preseason prediction of how this Bears season was going to go.
How many wins did you have them for?
I had 11 wins total. You're going to lose the first 2. You're going to win the next 4. You're going to lose the next 2. You're going to win the next 3. You're going to lose the next 2. You're going to win the last 4, I believe it was. So that's just how I had the season going, and that's kind of where we're at.
So, Bob, you're the tiebreaker on the side bet I have going with Rob, I guess. We'll bring that up later in the show.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
Bears
right.
Blueprint. That's where we got that one.
There you go.
Right, why don't we kind of get into this particular game, pivotal players, pivotal plays?
Want me to kick it off? I'll kick it off because it started on the kickoff. The very opening kickoff, Dom Robb gets rolled up on. He's been having I don't know if you can even say resurgent season because I don't know what he ever was, but he was starting to show himself as a rotational piece that you need on your D-line that's underperformed as a whole. And now he's out multiple weeks. Now, will this be an opportunity for Austin Booker? We better hope so. But right off the bat, wasn't a good omen, pivotal play.
I want to piggyback off that a little bit because another key injury on the defensive line came later when Shamar Turner went out. You listen to Ben Johnson today about how much Shamar Turner was having an impact on stopping the run. And then the Ravens rushed for 177 yards off us. That had a lot to do with Tyler Huntley really only throwing the ball in very advantageous position. So that was another pivotal play when Shamar Turner went down. The other, kind of right off the bat, the Bears, after that kickoff, marched down the field, look efficient, look great. Caleb Williams is looking at the first read, second read, is super efficient chunk plays. And then they get in that red zone and they just can't convert. And, if we're talking about one big pivotal play, another rookie, Mike Green, just kind of destroyed Theo Benedict on the left tackle, giving Caleb a chance on that third down play.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't really have a thing for offensive line to talk about, but Theo Benedict did not have a good game. He just didn't. So the running game,
bring back Braxton Jones. Oh, he's injured.
It wasn't a good game at all. Yeah. So up next, Justin kind of mentioned it already. The Montez Sweat play, right? Like you almost got the damn football too, right? Like had that happened, maybe that set the tone because they didn't get any takeaways in this game. We're playing the what if game, but had that happened, he got to the ball and not just the quarterback. Boom.
So pivotal play after you score on your first 2 drives and 3 and out them. Then they went on a long drive, and it was capped off by Derrick Henry, who you knew you had to stop, running it in for 7. They now have the lead, even though you were dominating. And to add salt to the wound, he passed Walter Payton for most touchdowns, I think. Well, not most ever, but on the list of most touchdowns, he passed him on that play. So it was bad in the game and then bad in Bears history.
Yeah, and then the Bears – what's it?
I want the next one.
Go for it. All right.
Pivotal play. Tory Taylor punts. An amazing punt at the 1 yard line. Called back. Why? Because of a stupid-ass penalty. Then he nets what? Got to the 22. Here's why I wanted this one. He is a 4th-round pick. He is still better than Ruben fucking Hippolyte, okay? Who didn't even dress, was inactive for this game. I don't want to hear complaints about Tory Taylor, who's actually out there making plays, doing things every week, when you have Ruben Hippolyte doing jack shit.
Like, if you're just slightly better than dog shit, like, that still doesn't make you a good pick. Now, Tory Taylor is flashing this year, at least. There are at least some things that Tory Taylor is doing this year. You're like, all right, now I get why he's a weapon. But he's still 4th-round punter who is still very much league average at best. So just because Ruben Hippolyte is absolute garbage doesn't mean you still can't be critical of Tory Taylor.
I'm just tired of seeing Ruben Hippolyte.
Bringing the heat. That's not where I thought the heat was coming. I was expecting to change.
A dumbass fucking penalty. Like, that's just, you're just standing in the wrong spot by 6 inches. Pay fucking attention to where you're at and don't ruin this beautiful, perfect play just because you're a dumbass.
Are the Bears the only team in the league that does this? I mean, how hard is it to just look over and make sure you're lined up?
It's happening so often. And I do hear some people, and we're going off on a little bit of a tangent, but I do hear some people say, like, good teams get away with calls, bad teams don't. Like, is that kind of where they're at right now? Like, they're just looking for them to be making these same dumbass mistakes.
Is that another one, though, where they say they warn you first? Because I can't imagine they warn the punt team that they're lined up incorrectly.
No idea. But I mean, you just gotta know. Back to the replay, it's pretty egregious.
It was.
Like, it's even on the eye test. It's like, dude, you're not even close to the line of scrimmage.
You're not even
the belt of the guy next to you, let alone the center. Like, it was bad.
That one.
But so kind of speaking of bad again, the Bears get the ball back. Defense does a good job of at least limiting Baltimore to a field goal. Bears get the ball back and a half. Caleb Williams sees a lane and man coverage and takes off 22 yards. Great play, Caleb. Oh, no, you stayed in bounds. Like, it would have been very easy to veer off to the right. Maybe you would have got a couple yards less and just stop the clock. It's one of those things that in your mind you have to be conscious that the clock is more important than the yards right here. Just critical mistake.
I feel like you could have gotten 18 yards and went out of bounds, but I almost feel like you could have gotten 25 yards and went out of bounds. But either way, a few times in this game, it just didn't seem like they understood clock management, and that's something we've been complimenting Ben Johnson and Ben Johnson-led teams on. And so you saw it at the end of the game. Granted, you're still down 2 scores and probably need an onside, but let's see. The game's not over till it's over, but you helped aid that. So I do want to talk about a pivotal play, which was after the run you just talked about. They had to burn a timeout. That timeout ended up mattering, and part of why it mattered was an intentional grounding on Caleb Williams. Now, he was called for 2 in this game, but this particular one I actually don't think was on him. I do believe it was on Loveland. In the post-game conference, they said that it was an option route. And if you watch, Loveland is the nickel corner is lined up in front of him, but then shifts, and you could tell he's going to blitz. And that's got to be what Caleb sees pre-snap. Loveland has to see it too. The safety is definitely playing inside leverage on you, so go out. And that's exactly what Caleb thought he was going to do. So he throws it to no one. It's still on Caleb. I mean, it's on the whole team, but it got you further back. We know Santos does not have a powerful leg. I think he's the only kicker in the NFL from 57, 58. It's dead center, and it's not in because it's short. But you don't get points there. Every point would have mattered. So
Devin Hester would have returned that one, by the way.
True.
It was so close that he would have returned. He would have received it out of bounds. It
was close.
So coming out of the half, kind of just a theme of the Bears coverage is it's just giving up too many yards. Too many times we're seeing the other team starting at the 35-40 way too easily, and we never do. And once again, Baltimore gets a big return and just you need some momentum, stop them coming out of half, and it just doesn't happen on the first play.
The next pivotal play that we have is, the Bears are down 16-6. Caleb Williams changes the play pre-snap, sets up a nice screen, right? A nice screen to the left, which was shocking because I felt like they weren't going to the left at the short game. Again, I think Theo Benedict was a problem in this game. Got him out to the left, set him up. Great 25 yards and setting them up for, their only touchdown of the game.
They actually finished when they got to the red zone. Imagine that.
Barely.
So that got it to 16-13. I believe they ended up getting Baltimore into a 4th and 5, I want to say. And Baltimore comes out like they're going for it, but they really were just trying to draw the Bears offside. And I was like, please don't do it, guys. I'm holding my breath, but they didn't. But they punt and pin the Bears at the 4, I believe. So that drive, you're backed up in your own end zone. Not the time to take a risky throw over the middle. That's exactly what Caleb tried to throw. In my opinion, it was a bad read. He goes on in the postgame to say it was the right read and a good read. And not only was it a bad throw to Odunze, I also don't know if he knew that another guy was coming over. So to me, it was in double coverage. You had the check down. You needed to do it. One of the several nails that went into the coffin.
And Ben Johnson disagreed with that, by the way.
Yeah.
Disagreed?
No, Ben Johnson disagreed with Caleb's assessment, not yours.
Yeah, he basically said he wants to look at it again, but he's pretty sure that there was a better option.
In the press conference today, he was asked, and he said, I think 6 words. I want him to hit the check down. And that was the question. That was the answer to the question. So, and Justin, your point, you feel like like Caleb said, he threw it behind him. If he throws ahead of him where he thought it was him, like it's what they call a hospital ball. Like it was going to destroy Odunze. Like that, so bad play. On that next series of downs for the Ravens, actually, no, the Ravens scored a touchdown. So I think that made it 23-16 or whatever.
23-13, I think.
23-13. Okay. And the Bears have them on 4th down. And it's clear they have trips up to the top of the screen and just DeAndre Hopkins one-on-one versus Nahshon Wright. That's clearly what they wanted to do. But DeAndre Hopkins, like there were some things that we definitely talked a lot about penalties in this game that I didn't really think were too egregious, but this one was outrageous. Clear stiff arm with one hand, and then the other one swiped his face mask where clearly you can see him move Nahshon's right body towards the sideline. Not a call on either one of them. 1st down Ravens, and then the Bears just couldn't get off the field after that.
I'm tired of watching the Baltimore Ravens basically just be like, call this, and then the refs fucking listen. Fuck you. I'm sorry. I get so pissed off listening to the coaches in my soccer games that I coach against where they're yelling at the refs and trying to get plays called. And then you have my kids who are hearing it and then they think, oh, there must have been a handball. Oh, there must have been this because the coach is yelling it. Just play the fucking game. I'm yelling at my kids. Stop listening to him. Pay attention to the ref. That's what needs to happen with these referees. Get them the F out of here. But
Nahshon Wright is one of the most flagged players in the league, I would imagine. So clearly the refs have their eyes on him. And you see his whole face mask gets pulled and he's escorted off the field to the sideline on a pivotal play. I mean, that play was pivotal.
Full arm extension on both arms fully extended by Hopkins too, by the way. All right, probably the best throw of Caleb Williams' game in garbage time. People are going to be like, oh, it was stat padding. He gets drilled, completely drilled, which should have been, in my opinion, roughing the passer. I mean, the guy just puts all of his weight into him. Would have stopped the clock, by the way. But DJ Moore could have done that too had he ran out of bounds. An amazing throw, arm strength over the top. Almost basically like a one-handed catch that he makes and runs it for, I don't even know, 40-some yards. Puts it down to the 3-yard line, minute 40 left, down to 118.
It's not garbage time, Rob. If he goes out of bounds at the 3 and it's a minute 40 and you score on the very next play, you're down 1 score with a minute 40. I don't remember how many timeouts they had, but
they had none at that point.
They had none at that point. But again, everyone says that Caleb Williams stacks in garbage time. That's all he does.
Okay.
Yeah.
They forget that he had 241 yards passing and almost 70% completion percentage before they started that drive. They forget all that, but
so they get down to the 3 without stopping the clock. As you said, Caleb Williams was destroyed on that play and now has to run 40 yards to get to the ball. So a lot of time comes off the clock. Now they threw an out quick out, but it wasn't to the end zone, so I'm kind of glad it was incomplete, and ran a weird quarterback sneak, which have they run a sneak this year that has gained yards? Do either of you recall any?
I can't.
Ben Johnson did say that was on him. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The sneak was after they completed a pass short of the line, so it was a running clock,
so the clock
which is what made it worse.
And then they called the sneak.
That made it worse. And
then the clock's running the whole time in this, by the way, because it kept running after DJ Moore's completion. Clock's running. They throw the pass to the 1 yard line. Clock's running. They do a sneak. Clock's running.
Yeah.
And it was a bad ball placement too on that sneak. Like they moved it back between the 1.5 yard line. Like
there was no forward progress. Good. And then the last one too. We can get into this more when we talk about good, bad Caleb, but just that last play obviously didn't connect, and that was pretty ugly. Pretty ugly. So
who knew there were so many pivotal plays?
So many pivotal plays. I mean, hey, when you look this bad, whatever, there's got to be a lot of reason for it. But, let's get on to the Johnson effect. Like, what impact did Ben Johnson have on either making this look not as ugly as it could have, or did he have a hand in how ugly this actually was, Rob?
The script was great to start the game, right? I mean, Rome Odunze was getting wide open. The script was fantastic to start the game. But then it just, I don't know what happened. Like they were not setting themselves up on first and second down. I know they were trying to establish the run game. It wasn't working. I'm tired of seeing DJ Moore get carries as a running back out of the backfield. He's getting the ball if he's back there. Like it's an automatic, let's just stack the box. Some of this stuff just needs to just stop. Like I'd rather a jet sweep or something with a guy in motion than seeing DJ Moore line up as the running back. Or if you're going to have him back there, at least have another running back there. Do something. Honestly, I think this might have been the Minnesota game was bad in my opinion for Ben Johnson, but I think that was just him getting used to being a head coach. I think this might have been his worst play called game.
You were saying they were trying to establish the run game, but I don't know if I agree with that analysis. I don't think DeAndre Swift got his fifth carry until probably well into the third quarter. Sorry, there's something happening at my house here, so it seems to have stopped. But if I have to leave the scene here, you guys can carry on. But I thought running the ball was what had been working the last 2 weeks. We kind of implied we didn't know if it would stay that way, and we assumed it wouldn't. But I don't think they did it enough. Monangai had a nice run or two. Swift had a few nice ones. But as I look, Swift had 11 carries, and like I said, I think about 5 or 6 of them were in the third and fourth quarter. To your point, DJ Moore 2 carries, but not enough of that. And real quick, when you mentioned Rome Odunze, I love Rome Odunze. I think he's got incredible potential. But there was a ball that Caleb Williams extends the play as he normally does, goes to the right. Sometimes I'm like, dude, just throw it away. And he's always looking for the completion. Throws a dot to Odunze, who gets both hands on it and drops it. He's done that at least once every game, I feel like. Sorry, just had to throw that in. I have no idea if that has anything to do with Ben Johnson.
So there's 2 things with Ben Johnson kind of, I guess, game planning wise, I thought was a little odd. One was featuring Kyle Monangai early in the game before DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift is still your game-breaking running back, right? We don't have enough confidence in Kyle Monangai that he's just an automatic 6 yards every time he touched the ball, and that's basically the way Ben Johnson was using him. And the other one was just using Ozzie Trapillo in that super jumbo lineup with the 6 offensive linemen so much. I don't think that they really created a lot positive with that formation. So I just want to know, is that being too cute? Did they just not execute on those plays? Is it something where Ozzie, we're really sorry that we drafted you in the second round. We're not using you. So why don't we just throw you a bone they kind of did with Doug Kramer last year? We like Doug Kramer. How can we get him on the field? We like Ozzie. How can we get him on the field? And then, so I just don't know what's going on there.
Was part of it that you don't have Cole Kmet?
That's what I was going to say. But you also got Smythe for that exact reason.
You got Smythe for that. You brought up Carlson, he was on the field a bunch too. So I just don't really know where that come from. The last one is about penalties, but we'll get into that more about offensive identity, I suppose.
Well, he took his hands off of that, didn't he? Is that what
Correct. That's what I want to get at. Yeah, it's just I've done everything I can do. You've done everything you can do, Ben? Okay, all right. I guess we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen here. So that was a little.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if some people start losing playing time. So.
Yeah. I hope so, but that hasn't happened yet. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's also more difficult when you
has
have
Ben
no one on
Johnson
defense.
actually done to improve the penalties, right? So it's just that's something that keeps.
I don't like that he's basically like, it's not my problem. And earlier in the season, when the run game wasn't working, he said, I'm personally offended and we're going to fix it.
Correct.
He should be offended by the penalties.
Right. I could be misquoting this, but I believe they have 45 penalties on the year, and it's the most that they've had ever to this point in 40 years. I'll have to find that, but I'm pretty sure.
I'm shocked that it's
more
only
than that.
They had 11 just this past week.
Well, we'll do
some whatever it is. It's the most they've had in the last 40 years.
Yeah, but whatever.
Maybe it was 54.
Whatever.
On to Caleb.
It's not great. It's not great. So what do we have to say about Caleb? I mean, I know that it's maddeningly frustrating to still see the talent flash the way it does and still not quite seeing the plays when they actually matter being made, right? So it's just, I don't know, when you guys, Justin, you want to kind of lead us off on this one?
Well, I have two things that I just have to ask you guys. I mean, I don't know the answer to this. I just want to hear you guys. How much of the penalties problem is Caleb, and how much of the red zone inefficiency is Caleb? Because if you can convince me and tell me that a lot of that's on him, then that's a real bad issue that he needs to get better at. But I don't get the sense that the red zone is all on him. Sometimes I feel like it's a lack of creativity with the plays they're calling. Sometimes I think it is penalties that I don't necessarily put on him. I mean, when I see one guy just flinch, it's like he probably called it was on 2 and you went on 1. Like, how is that on Caleb? But as I said before, that was a horrible interception. But if you take that play out, which you can't, I thought a lot of what he did was positive in this game. Was it good enough? No, because you didn't get the W. But I don't think a W is simply on your quarterback. There was a lot that went into losing this game, including some of his play. Certain things like awareness and just making the right decisions at the right time, I still think he has to work on. But overall, I don't know where it's coming from, where people are saying he's awful and that we should be talking about Tyson Bagent, which I don't think is anything I'm going to hear on this show. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, no, I'm the Bagent bros just need to go away. Like, that's just, it needs to be done. Look, there's a couple plays that stand out to me. The interception was very, very poorly done. We've talked about that enough. The out route that was out to the flat for DJ Moore. Awful, not an awful ball, but it was high. There was one, if I recall, going a little bit over the middle on the right. I believe it was to Roma Dunze in the first half that just, he sailed it over his head. I almost got a hand on it, but it wouldn't have mattered. The DJ Moore not getting that touchdown to end the game, a lot of people were like, how do you miss DJ Moore? He's wide open. He's wide open. And I kept saying, I can't wait to see the all 22 because I want to see what it was like, because to me, it looked like he had to get it through where the linebackers were. And look, if you look at it, you see DJ Moore breaking across the middle. He is wide open. I don't know how they just let him go. There was a split moment where Caleb Williams probably could have fit it in between. I think it was Kyle Hamilton and Roquan Smith. That being said, he wasn't the first read. So as he's coming back to him, his feet aren't set. How many times have we said, or people have said, like, look, footwork matters as a quarterback. There's a good chance he doesn't throw the right pass. It gets intercepted. It gets tipped because he can't fit it through there, not having his feet set. He threw it where DJ Moore should have kept running, and DJ Moore stopped behind Roquan Smith. It's just a miscommunication. The miscues just keep happening. It's what's frustrating about this team, because you can see the potential of greatness, and then it's just like they keep falling flat in so many ways. Caleb just wasn't good enough. And look, this was probably his third best game of the year, and people are like, his game was crap. And it really wasn't. Like, he was very efficient with the ball. He was completing passes left and right. I don't really know what else you want from him. And look, Ben Johnson even went back and he said it in his press conference today, or not his press conference. It was his interview with Jeff Joniak. He said, look, like, I went back and watched and I was pleasantly surprised. Like, this game wasn't bad as I thought it was going to be when I went back to watch Caleb Williams. So when you draft a guy first overall and he is deemed generational, as much as that's on him versus the media versus the hype, whatever, you need to be better. And I'm not out on him. Like, you can't be. This guy's going to be the quarterback for at least the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, so kind of touching on what you said, Rob, and also answering some of Justin's questions, like Caleb Williams is the centerpiece of the offense. Everything good and bad that happens with the offense, Caleb Williams has a hand in. All those pre-snap penalties and stuff, like, yeah, you're right. If it's on two, we're going on two guys. But if there's something different about how he's saying one, like that might not be consistent with everything else that's going on. They just that inflection happens, it's reaction, and all of a sudden you went on one instead of two, right? There has to be some type of consistency with your quarterback. And if that's not happening, if there's just something weird that he's doing, and like 2 weeks ago when there was those weird snapping issues, like if Caleb is like messing around with his hand under Dahlman, and Dahlman thinks it's like, oh, I'm snapping it because he's giving me this, and like Caleb's not even paying attention to that, that could be on Caleb too. So there's a lot of things with that, but like I said at the beginning, it's maddeningly frustrating. You see these amazing flashes of Caleb Williams, and then you see him just falling short in other ways. So there's two plays I want to highlight. One, they were both in the fourth quarter, or one was at the end of the third quarter, where Roman Dunze is running a post out, whatever they call the flag route, whatever you want to call it. It's splitting the cover two safety and corner perfectly. Caleb's holding the safety one way, and then just with authority and conviction, rips the ball exactly into the honeypot, as J.J. Watt said on the TV coverage, right into there's a 26-yard chunk gain, a big play, just perfect NFL ball that not all quarterbacks can complete. Not all quarterbacks are capable of delivering that ball with that kind of authority. Caleb Williams can do it. And then it's either later on in that drive or in the next drive. It's, I think, 2nd and 10. Caleb Williams has perfect protection in the pocket, and DJ Moore is running a 10-yard out to the sticks, and you can almost see Caleb like relax, like, oh, I got all the time in the world. Let's just kind of throw this over there, and it just sails over DJ Moore's head. If he attacks that easy throw with the exact same conviction that the impossible throw took, then it's another easy completion and another first down. So there's just still something going on with the mechanics up there with Caleb Williams about trying to figure out how to just be on all the time. He's got the ability, he's got the talent, just how does he make it work all the time? That's what's just so frustrating.
Well, you both brought up plays that just looked wonky between him and DJ Moore. And I would say over the 2 season and a half they've been together, they never look like they are in sync with one another. But we started to think, okay, him and Rome are connected. But you see them miss and like misread one another. Then we talked about the option route to Loveland, who, let's be fair, has been out with injuries, wasn't truly tight end one. But who is he developing the rapport with? Like they say, reps. I mean, Zacchaeus, who, by the way, is possibly out with an injury as well, he's had many times where him and Caleb don't seem like they're in sync. Zacchaeus is sitting, and Caleb thinks he's going to keep going, and things like this. So who is he developing this with? How long does it take? These things matter. Like small details matter.
So I will say, like, who's the common thread in all of those? If
Caleb
DJ's not working, Caleb Rome's not working, Caleb Colt, it still goes back to Caleb. Caleb's got to figure out himself why it's not working. Start believing what coaches are telling him why it's not working.
This guy likes sit here. This is how I deliver this ball. And
it's a lot of work, a lot of responsibility. You just can't just react and rely on your athleticism in the NFL. So kind of a just, offensive identity for the longest time. We talked about the defensive identity was turnovers. That didn't happen today. But now I think we can say the offensive identity is penalties. It's shooting yourself in the foot. The very first time they are in the red zone, Colston Loveland just jumps on 3rd and 1, and now you're 3rd and 6. Now they went and pick it up. It was fine. But no, that was a legitimate one. That wasn't a
I know, but I'm so tired of it.
Tooney's was too, by the way. Tooney definitely moved. And then when they showed the replay, it was after he had moved, so it looked like he didn't, but he moved.
And I like Tooney. I mean, I watched it. I didn't
it again.
See him move enough.
So,
I did not see him move
I know
enough.
what you're talking about. Like as soon as they showed Tooney moving, it was like within a split second of the footage starting, and his elbow kind of twitches. But like it also feels like the offense was barely set. You know what I'm saying? It was almost not even like.
I mean, the guard is allowed to move. He can tap the center's ass all day long.
Not if your hand's on the ground. His hand was on the ground. So his hand was on the ground, his elbow moved. You're not allowed to. If you're playing with your hands off the ground, then yeah, you can do whatever you want. But if your hands on the ground,
I'm just saying, it
Just
was
go watch
bullshit.
before the replay live.
Go watch the last play of the game
us
when
2
they tried to
yards
do the
and an
same
interception.
thing. Go watch the last play of the game when they tried to do the last same thing. Fuck you, Baltimore. John Harbaugh.
Like, how are these penalties going to stop? You know, what's going to happen? How are we going to be able to make that happen? Like, obviously we can't do anything about it other than come here.
Neither
and
can Ben Johnson.
How ugly it is, right? But yeah, I guess we can do as much as Ben Johnson can, because now Ben Johnson's just saying, "Hey, it's on you, players. You figure it out." You know, I don't know.
I don't know what else to say. I mean, if Ben Johnson doesn't know, then we don't know.
Just really quick, the other part of the offensive identity is not just the penalties. Like, they just can't seem to execute and get in the end zone, right? And it's not always penalties that are stopping them. Like, they had the run play with Kyle Monungai that just gets stopped. No one freaking blocked the guy. By the way, DeAndre Swift could not block either.
Could Caleb have kept it or no?
I think it was just a straight handoff.
Okay.
Yeah,
but they were running. But they were running. I mean, it made sense.
Where is that?
Running
Bring
a lot
that
of
into
play
things.
action.
Like, I don't feel they've been creative enough. Now that you know this is a problem, and I'm not saying like you should be running.
I'm not complaining about the running game. You know,
what?
The running game is fine. I'm not going to sit here and complain about the running game. Like, I think they're doing just fine on the running game. Like, you know, the play didn't work. It sucks that it didn't work, but I think they've got this running game pretty much figured out. The issue in today's last game wasn't
yes and no.
Specifically,
not doing it well.
Specifically, that second down to Monungai, they asked Ben Johnson about, and he said it was a bad play call. They gave us a look we weren't expecting. Like, he thought that was a bad play, and it was blocked terribly.
Right, but I'm not going to blame that on, he should have had it be a run option to Caleb instead. Like,
no.
I'm not going to blame, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say the defensive or the game plan for the running game is a problem.
Well, I'm saying we've reached a point where you've had this much trouble in this area that the next time they're in the red zone against Cincy, if we need to do something a little unorthodox just to shake things up or give another look, I wouldn't be opposed.
I'm pretty sure they haven't scored a non-rushing touchdown in the red zone in like 3 or 4 games. The only way they score is rushing.
But that's also
give another look is what I'm saying. Like, if Caleb has a weapon with his feet as well, that would still count as rushing.
Okay. All right.
There was a play action.
That's all I'm saying.
There was a play action play to Colston Loveland that I want to see more of. I want to see, you're consistently running the ball in the red zone. I want to see play action with a tight end going out. Like, you see every NFL team. This was tight end weekend, right? Like, you saw tight end after tight end after tight end after tight end get touchdowns. And yet I haven't seen enough of these little tight end outs. Like, I see it everywhere but here. And I don't think Ben Johnson's a bad play caller. I just think this was his worst called game. But Zach Orr came to make a difference too. When you look at what they did on defense, bringing Kyle Hamilton down in the box consistently, and I know it was something they started doing the week before as well, the front offensive line struggled to know who to freaking block. Like, even Tooney at times was blocking air. Like, you can't do that and expect to win.
Yeah. On to the defense.
Still average 4 yards a carry. Like, it's not great, but it, whatever. Defense, no.
How many of those yards were you talking? Just the running backs? Because how many of that came from Caleb's runs?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, DeAndre was. Yeah, okay, so a little less than 4 for the running backs, but again, played a good team.
1.5 for DJ Moore, Rob.
Stop it! Just stop it. And Luther Burden did one, right? And then he gets a concussion.
No,
his was a catch, I think. Quick option.
Right, it was
a quick screen.
It was a quick screen. Yeah. But I mean, the defense, I think all in all, except for the fourth quarter where maybe not they quit, I do believe the defense basically played the same way they always do as well, just without the turnovers. I've always maintained that this defense isn't that good, but they were stopping the run, and that kind of got away a little bit. But the no turnovers.
There's 2 that should have happened. One, we already mentioned the ball, like had Montez Sweat that was close. But the other one, Kevin Byard, dude, you had 4. It hit you right in the hands, and I know it was tipped, but
no, it did not hit him. He was going.
Yeah, right.
It hit him in one hand. It hit him in one hand.
It's
catch
no,
it.
No.
Catch it.
Rewatch that one.
Catch it.
It was didn't over pursue it. It hit him in the breadbasket if it wasn't tipped. He read it perfectly. He broke on it perfectly, but it was tipped and this went behind
the line of scrimmage. Make
Yeah,
a
no,
play.
that is not on Byard at all.
Make a play.
Absolutely.
I was saying earlier that I thought
It
It could have been. It could have been. Like, if you want to blame anybody, blame Tremaine Edmonds.
I don't think it was
for, like
bad.
stopping, but like,
Yes,
there's no way
just
you can expect.
We
again,
needed
they
those
had their
fantasy points, Rob.
opportunities.
Yeah.
They had their opportunities to get the takeaways, and those were just the two that came to mind. Like, had one of them gone their way, it could have been a different game.
It's just that you're not going to get 4 every game.
I mean, one other thing too is I think it was the Baltimore ended up getting a field goal on it, but they did force Tyler Huntley to try to create and make a couple plays with his arm towards the goal line, and he threw up 2 balls that were like not pretty at all. One almost, or whatever, like it's just out off of Brisker's fingertips or whatever. I'm not blaming Brisker for not getting it, but my point was those 2 plays that like Tyler Huntley was trying to do too much, and he did put the ball at risk with ugly plays. We just weren't there. So had we done a better job of more consistently putting Tyler Huntley in a position where he had to make plays, there might have been more turnover worthy opportunities. We just didn't get those either.
And that's with your 6th, 7th, and 8th corners. So hey.
So McLeod was not good, but I just want to throw this one out there. Nashawn Wright was terrible for 4 or 5 weeks, and now he's looking like, okay, that's a player on our defense, right? So McLeod could just be the same thing. He's just trying to, he's a practice squad guy being asked to play in the NFL now. Of course it's going to look rough, but maybe he'll be serviceable. I mean, he looked okay at times in training camp, right?
It was bad. He was out of position.
I still think he's better than you, Rob.
There was a play where like he's lining up and they're like faking that he's going to actually come with the blitz. And then like he backs off, and so does Montez Sweat. They both drop into coverage, and the receiver literally just catches it in between the both of them. Like it's frustrating. But quickly off that, you couldn't see Brisker rushing in. Like you couldn't see McLeod rushing in, where they've been doing that the last few weeks because of these injuries. Because you can't trust that anyone's going to be able to play man coverage.
Brings us to the blueprint.
Agreed.
Yeah, what are they going to do?
I mean, Jamar Chase isn't that good, right?
I mean, he's only averaging like 20 targets a game, so
go look at what Joe Flacco's done the last 2 weeks with the Bengals. I mean, it's definitely a different team here than in Cleveland, right? I mean, he swapped cities in Ohio, didn't have to move very far, and I'm telling you, Justin, this is our bet. The Bears are -1.5 is what Vegas is giving him, is what Justin woke up this morning was like. Rob's emotions, Vegas isn't playing into it. Guess what? Yesterday,
you said they were going to be +6.
I did.
You want to take the Bengals -9.5?
I am going to take the Bengals -9.5. They are going to win by double digits. Why? Because they have no way to stop them. They don't.
I hope Tyreek Stevenson is back. That will make me feel a little better. But yesterday, against the Jets, who they lost to, by the way, Rob, Jamar Chase, 19 targets. 1, 2, 3 players with 3, and T. Higgins had 2. Guard Jamar Chase. Double team Jamar Chase the whole game.
The Jets also put up 39 points, and this offensive juggernaut from New York is coming off 6 points and 11 points.
I don't care. I don't care.
Every week in the NFL is a new week. Something goes your way. You find something that works. Like, I am worried about the Bears being able to hold the Bengals to less than 30, but,
Well, you weren't saying that as, I mean, the Bengals have given up a lot of points all season. Is that what you were saying, Bob? Okay, good.
No, I was just saying Rob says the Bears can't score, so they're incapable of beating the Bengals, whereas the Jets had scored 17 points in their last 2 games combined.
Right, and we're able to put up 39. Bengals have given up 39, 31.
A new week in the NFL.
They also scored the winning touchdown by their running back throwing a ball that he shouldn't have thrown to their tight end that
we got the
somehow grabbed it.
All right, same blueprint as it's been. Stop getting penalties. Score in the damn red zone. I mean, until they do it, I think that's just the blueprint, right?
And turn Flacco over. They got to get positive in the turnover ratio again. That the defense isn't good enough to just hold up on its own. The offense isn't good enough to score points without the turnover, so this turnover's got to come back.
Easy peasy. Let's see it. But I would love to see if Tyreek Stevenson can come back. They already were very injured and then picked up a few more. So maybe it's the Austin Booker game. Did they activate him? Do we know?
Ben Johnson confirmed that he will, but I don't think he did yet. But Ben Johnson said in no uncertain terms, yes, Booker will be activated.
He lost 2
He
linemen.
has to be activated tomorrow. Tomorrow's the deadline.
Okay.
But I said Ben Johnson was asked directly today, and he said
3 sacks for Booker, 2 are strip sacks. Bears win. I don't even need the points, but I'll take them.
Should be a fun game.
Although, wait a minute, Bob, you predicted this a loss 3 months ago.
I did predict it as a loss. And like, here's the thing: like, the NFL isn't like if you lose, you're terrible, and if you win, you're great. Sometimes you just play the game, and the score ends up being the score, right? The Bears could lose this game 36-34, and yeah, we're going to have a lot of frustrating things to talk about. You have 36 points, you're not going to be happy about it. But that doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It just means the NFL, there's going to be a winner, there's going to be a loser. And it's just gonna it just happens. Like, you can't
Packers
just
and the Cowboys tied.
that, we're gonna win the Super Bowl because we win 4 games in a row playing terrible, and then playing the same way we lose, and all of a sudden the Bears are the worst team ever, and Caleb Williams isn't the guy. Like, it is what it is. The trajectory of your team can be consistent one way or another, and the wins and losses are just gonna juggle around it. And it's just, so what? If we go 4-4, we'll be 4-4, and then the next week's gonna happen, and then we'll see what happens that week. It's just not the end of the world.
Thank you, Bob. You brought me back, man. I needed that.
I feel like I was looking directly at Rob while I was
I mean, did you hear my mulling report? I mean, it was pretty positive.
It was very measured, Rob. It was very measured.
I had this team winning 8 games this year. That's it. So, like, they're on pace for what I expected. It's just when I see the team lose the way that they're losing, it pisses me off because they had every opportunity to win this game and they laid an egg in so many areas, and I'm tired of it.
Because you can see the potential for it to be better. Like, it's right there. You can see the potential to be better. And there's us as being passionate, loyal Bear fans. We want it to be better. We want it to be as good as we believe we're seeing it can be. And it's just not yet. And it's just,
we were basing it, Rob.
I'm not saying we can't be mad or frustrated. I'm just saying let's still be real about where this team can still go.
We were basing it off the text where all of a sudden, because of how they were playing, they lost to the Bengals, they lost to the Giants. I was like, whoa, let's slow down here.
If you go back and look, I said to stop watching the game after the Tyler Huntley run, okay? And they didn't even take, like, I think that was a touchdown on that drive. So, like, look, I said the game's over after that run, and sure as shit, they never took the lead back. So
don't look now, but they better start winning because pretty soon the Bulls are going to pass them in wins. Bulls just won, guys. 3-0.
Again?
Yeah, 3-0.
Out for the Bulls.
Might have to do a Bulls podcast. They don't want that, Juju.
I watched the Chicago Fire blow their chance and against the Philadelphia Union. Tied it very late, 2-2, went into penalty kicks, and then they decided to use 2 defenders to kick, and their 2 other penalty kicks, and both clearly missed. I don't understand why you use your defenders when you had better options.
Weird.
And that's our Chicago Fire part of the segment.
It's like running DJ Moore out of the backfield. Stop it. Stop it.
I got nothing else. Next week. We're going Chicago Fire. I'm out.
Until next week, bear down, claws up.
Claws up.
Ready, break.